What's good, everybody? We back. Fourth through seven rounds. We're gonna go ahead and try to get this stuff knocked out. Maybe have a little bit of time at the end so we can go ahead and see kind of how every team fared this year in the draft. But with that said, let's go ahead and get things started. Broncos are back on the clock.
The Titans are now on the clock.
They decide they're gonna end up going with center Andrew Stanford. And might as well refresh myself kind of what my draft board is looking like. And not fantastic. Nobody we necessarily need after what we've been able to take care of and manage already. So I guess that's the one good thing. So at this point, it's going to be a lot of shots in the dark regarding how we plan on things panning out. We don't really have to move around so much then anymore, probably.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
They get a wide receiver, just based on the fact that we don't really have any more targets left. So
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
interested to see at like cornerback, maybe if there's any other tight ends or any linebackers that we might see get picked up that I might have missed out on.
The Eagles are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
Not necessarily going to probably say the overalls count as much as they have in past years, which I don't know, could be good, could be bad.
The Lions are now on the clock.
So far, I don't notice anything drastic that's going to impact
The
us.
49ers are now on the clock.
Another quarterback. Another one that's probably not going to be involved much. Derek Dugan to the Lions.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock.
All right, so far,
The Rams are now on the clock.
at least it was well spent kind of focusing on those first 2-3 rounds of the draft.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
No huge misses.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Nobody I'm crying over. Leonard Flynn, Falcons, probably going to be a flop.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock.
I gotta figure out which team that was, too, by the way, that ended up doing the relocation.
The Texans are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock.
Okay. Arthur Ridley. Could have been a brother to, was he the one that we wanted to pick up? Yeah, no, we have Artis Luther. I might have just seen the Arthur name and made a connection there. All right, Browns.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Okay. Traylon Fleming potentially could have been worth something. I'm sure there's definitely, safety class seems to always be pretty deep.
The Giants are now on the clock.
America's team, rookie running back, Jeremy Waddle.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Cedric Good.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Ooh, that seems like a bad miss. Hopefully he's at least like hidden development for them.
The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock.
Tight end goes, only a 60 overall though, still looking good.
The Colts are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock.
Okay, so we go the entire fourth round. There's absolutely nobody that I would have been, dying to say that I should have moved up for. We definitely missed, should have scouted more, anything like that. So fingers crossed. Let's see. So only the one pick now after the maneuvers, but we still got 2 in the 6th, and we got 4 in the 7th that we can try to make work. And it looks like we kind of burned through the majority of whoever we would have been able to scout, minus like the linebacker and wide receiver position. So that's kind of where I refocused everything else.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
All right, so we make it back, and you see the breakdown. We focus pretty heavily on offense so far. Defense, okay, actually, I thought I had went safety at one point, but it's been all offense so far. So a huge commitment to turning things around there. I don't know if there's anybody necessarily that I'm dying to see that we have. We had the top ranked running back when it came to speed, and he was only a 92, so it's not even like worth whatever we might see there. Receiver position, we already got two. It's fine enough. I'm more than happy to continue to double dip, but we can wait. He's at least a seventh rounder. Some sixth round talents here if we want to take more shots in the dark. Normally by the fifth round, I kind of throw out like draft status out the window. Kind of more so looking for traits anywhere. So, you know, Michael Thornton, uh, probably should go ahead and try to scoop up. Great speed. Pretty decent all around combine. I think we go ahead and snatch him up, and then we refocus our efforts on just seeing who's the best athletes we can get.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
61 overall, normal, 157th. We get him about 24 slots ahead of where he should have went. But speed acceleration, manageable. Finesse is okay. Doesn't look like he has any other traits, anything like that really. Coverage is trash. Block shedding's terrible. Well, that's what you get with shots in the dark, right? So
The Eagles are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock.
okay. JoJo Owens to the Giants, something that they might be able to develop there.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Ooh, that's a bad one.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Aaron
The
Bishop.
Falcons are now on the clock. The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Ooh, Sidney Hill. We'll have to take a look at what cornerbacks we can try to get with this next selection.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock.
Okay, Bills picked them up a quarterback. Maybe they're looking to develop somebody in the wings.
The Texans are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Cornerback's looking about as bad as I predicted if you didn't get him in the front half of the draft.
The Giants are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock.
All right, Carolina Panthers. They go quarterback, and things do not look well for the rest of the class as expected.
The Texans are now on the clock.
I feel like it's always a dream to, get that Tom Brady-esque type quarterback where maybe they had something to work with, maybe it was nothing, and, they just really developed with the opportunities they get.
The Bengals are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock.
Okay, Roosevelt good. Chicago, passable probably.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Broncos are now on the clock.
Ugh. Saints last pick it around. I think that's a defensive tackle. From what I can make out, yeah. It's not blowing anybody away. All right, so we got the 12th pick in the 6th round, and we'll be looking to select our first cornerback, and hopefully the undrafted pool that we get once this is said and done can yield some results as well.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Redskins are now on the clock.
So far, very top-heavy class. I'm glad we did our research and, focused on areas we were looking for, because right now, it looks like if you didn't make out well in the first 3 rounds, then you're kind of shooting, playing Russian roulette with your team at the moment.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Jerome Curtis, terrible.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Okay, Calvin Lindsley, looks like he might have had some tools.
The Eagles are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
Ooh, more bad luck at receiver for the Eagles.
The Lions are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock.
The Vikings' last pick actually wasn't so great, but they do so well developing talent on the defensive line. I'd hedge my bet that anybody they pick should have some degree of success.
The Raiders are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock.
All right, so we make it back around full circle. We got another pick in about another 12 selections. We're going to go cornerback and just see what's the best potential athlete we can get, since we have nothing to even center any kind of ideals around. Marcus Hitchens could be one. Sub 4.5, 40. Has some agility, some acceleration, can jump a bit. Bench press is kind of trash, but I mean, most of the cornerbacks are. Okay, can jump. It's explosive, like the broad jump. And immediately into undrafted territory, which, if we're going to go this low, we really could be a prospect. We really might as well probably just wait till the last, handful of picks. See if we can't go elsewhere. Agility, acceleration, bit of speed, or bit of agility, bit of acceleration, bit of strength. Speed's not where I would like to be though. Sub 4.5, unless everything else is generally phenomenal, is kind of what I like to see. Speed, acceleration, agility, jumping, and explosions kind of trash. Alright, well, pretty much built up my consensus there, so I'm not going to worry about it. Alright, we need more resources in the linebacking core as well as on the line. So there's still some draftable prospects at least. You don't quite have the build we're looking for, neither do you. So these would have to be converts to like linebacker. 295, okay. Generally about 280, 285 plus is what I'm looking for. At least with the 3-4 that we like to run. And nothing else there. Nothing that's wowing me away so far. Okay. Excellent broad jump. Vert is nice. Strength manageable, but he's a big boy. 6'6", 317. Could take a flyer on him. A power rusher. This was a run stopper. He looks like he could be something. I mean, he has the jump. Slightly better bench press. Speed's better. Acceleration and agility would be better. Alright, he's one we need to keep an eye on. Right, pursuit, tackles, garbage. Okay. His catching at least is decent, so maybe he can make plays. But they say that he's pretty much undrafted for both of them, and that's pretty much the case elsewhere. All right, let's go the DT real quick. Marquez Hubbard.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
He's young. Maybe we can do something with him. At least we didn't. At least we didn't extend ourselves too far. He's a big hitter, but nothing too much to speak of. His power moves aren't actually all that bad. Block shedding's definitely gonna have to go up. Definitely seen much worse, but I don't know what he'll end up looking like by the end of his contract if he makes it that long.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Ooh, bottom of this draft is tough. I kind of almost feel like maybe we should just
The Rams are now on the clock.
trade some of the picks
The
we
Falcons
have.
are now on the clock.
Maybe see what we can recoup next year.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock.
Ooh, Myron Stewart.
The Mexico City Diablos are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Okay. Garrison Adams. There's still some receiver talents.
The Jets are now on the clock.
Okay. I want to say there was still one I seen that might have been serviceable. Was it Marcus Hitchens? I feel like it was. He had the sub 4.5, the agility and the speed, and then I don't think I've seen too much else elsewhere. Yeah, I think that was the case. Randall Simmons looked like maybe we could do something with him. Speed, acceleration, agility, nothing else. Okay, speed and jumping. Agility and acceleration is trash. Rashawn Baggs, okay. I mean, at this point, I got a feeling we might have to. Yeah, I can't do 4-6. Feel like we might end up needing to rely on Blesson. But out of Nevada State, Brian Peppers, top ranked 40, great agility and acceleration. Maybe we want to grab both these guys. His strength wasn't quite as good. Rashawn Baggs, you happen to be in the second and you can jump, whereas Mr. Peppers here can run and he can move. Yeah, I say let's take the Flyers on that. Let's go ahead and grab Baggs.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Yikes, 56, but 92 speed. Coverage traits are terrible. Agility is
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Might be a survival to fittest kind of
The
situation with
Giants
them.
are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock.
All right, I think at this point we can just go ahead and
The Jets are now on the clock.
get to where we need to be. So let's go ahead and just grab the other guy we need. I know we still need a punter, I believe, too. Yep. Brian Peppers.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Okay, 64. Workable. 91. Okay, coverage traits are about the same, basically. Agility is excellent, though. You can tackle a bit. All right, I think Brian Peppers is obviously the winner out of that one.
The Jets are now on the clock.
Now, we would have 2 picks if we were to get rid of this one. One would have to go to punter. The other one probably would be like the linebacker, defensive line. What could we get for this right now? Okay, basically a 7th later on, so might as well spend it, right? Okay, so let's take a look at the line first. Okay, 317. Alright, nothing there really. Okay, at least you got strength. Got a bit of agility and acceleration to you. Alright, so Percy Cherry is one to consider. Basically kind of the same. I'm missing some. Oh, okay. I'm like, went to the wrong thing. I meant to go to D tackles. I was wondering why they looked like they were essentially the same. Okay. Excuse me. Trying to keep in mind the fact that I would like to necessarily not get anybody for a specific scheme type just yet. So I'm gonna switch from that base 3-4, and it'd be nice to get some people that might be able to easily be on that scheme already, or at least not have too much of a trouble switching over. All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and go Percy Cherry.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Okay, 62 power moves, but you have you have a swim move, although your finesse moves aren't great. That does not help me out a whole lot there, but bit of acceleration, power moves, block shen's gonna have to come up. All right, it's a shot in the dark. We knew what it was. It's A-okay.
The Jets are now on the clock.
All right, here we'll go probably middle linebacker. Okay, strength, agility, acceleration. You kind of have the most traits so far, but I feel like generally I'll see great traits with the middle linebackers. It's really just a matter of skill for them. It's probably the ones where that really kind of diversifies who ends up being a decent selection or not. I mean, he is at least I believe he was a scheme fit for us already, right? Yeah. 250, you'll hold up. Not necessarily the quickest. All right, I think we pulled a plug on this.
The
Lincoln
Falcons
Tompkins,
are now on the clock.
57. All right, but we do get pretty decent acceleration. Yeah, I don't think he'll be lasting. But I mean, a lot of this also is just trying to figure out who we might be able to have maintain on the practice squad as well, right?
The
At least
Jets are now on the clock.
at least having something that stands out for us. Anything. All right, punter. It's always, shot in the dark. Um, Try to look for those with the best vert and broad, which looks like it's gonna be him. So who was it? B.J. Hudson? No. Andy Whitaker. Looks like you are going to be our new punter.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
66 overall. We get 87 kick power, 75 accuracy. Okay. It's not necessarily the most important thing in the world. But we do finally come to an end. So we can take a look at how things has panned out for everyone. And then next video I'll be working on seeing what schemes and stuff I'm looking for based on how I see depth chart shaking out for us. But it is a new day and age. Let's check out the recap. So a lot of shots in the dark for us after basically round 3, but we get a right tackle that can come in and cause an impact right away. We get a young receiver that should be able to develop, regardless of whether that's with Sam Darnold or with the face of the franchise, Kiefer Ellis. So we'll be looking to develop him in the wings if he's not able to win this season right away. And if anything, we might take a look at future backup options as we try to hope we can boost Sam Darnold's trade value. And by the deadline, we recoup what we can for him. Artist Luther, we wanted more talent, more young talent that we could potentially work with. And he had some route running ability. There's some other things like his release and stuff we'll need to work on, but hopefully we can break him in over the course of the season. Tyson Sampson, he might be able to help develop into the running back of the future at that position, but for now, Deontay Foreman looks like he's going to hold down the fort. We get Noah Chatham. He is our 4th hidden development after being able to find hidden gems in the first 3. And then shots in the dark. So Michael Thornton, Marquez, Hubbard. We get Rashawn Baggs, Brian Peppers, who kind of seems like he might follow in the veins of Brian Hope, although he's not hidden development. But actually, I think Brian Hope was normal dev. I have to go back and check that out. But he might be able to follow in his footsteps a bit. Percy Cherry, Tompkins, and then we get our punter to round things out. So super interested to see how other teams fared. They didn't do too bad with the first 2 rounds, but like I mentioned, after round 3, like things really tanked. Montez Bassi, Packers only get somebody on the line. Panthers, they do extremely well with Caleb Kirkland. Definitely wish I would have been able to scoop him up, but not enough picks. Certain focuses we had this offseason, but he looks absolutely great. Strength would need some work, but I mean, he has the skill set. Patriots, so they get somebody on the line, and then they don't do well outside of that. Maybe they can coach up the rest of the talent. Never count against the team or that system they put in place, but that bodes well for us. Raiders get themselves a pass rush. Rams are able to try to develop themselves a cornerback, potentially behind, what they currently have available to them. Not really worried about anybody in the NFC at the moment. But Ravens, they get what potentially was the top middle linebacker. So they're looking for whoever their next Ray Lewis is going to be. Redskins, they get a few. Denzel Waters, He was hand in hand, kind of looking like he potentially may have been better than our pickup in Stiff. They get Damon Tiller though. I was hoping that we would be able to have him drop down to us in the second without us having to trade up. No such luck, and they find one of the few tight ends that looked like they were going to be not too much of a project if they didn't scoop up the very first rated tight end at the position. Saints don't do so hot, but their best player happens to be on the defensive line. Seahawks, they find themselves a defensive line player, trying to continue to keep their pass rush fierce as they look to reimagine the defense. Steelers, though, Cortez Carty, probably the best player in the draft. They get them a quarterback in Dwight Lynn in the second, and then they pick up Barry Mills, who was essentially, I think his name was Callahan, a strong safety that looked like he could have played either position. That was really well the lighter version of him, so they make out pretty good. Cornerback looks like the best player that the Texans were able to get for themselves. Titans pick up a pass rush. Vikings invest in the line. Broncos, they get themselves a quarterback, a pass rush. Oh, we came all the way around. Okay, I'm like, what is what is happening here? All right, Bears, they get themselves a running back, probably the best one in the draft based on what I can recall. Best player for the Bengals is probably going to be Kelvin Carrington. Bills. Maybe it's the Dolphins that had one of the better draft hauls, but best player for them probably going to be on the offensive line. Broncos get themselves a quarterback and a defensive tackle. Browns. It's either going to be a pass rush or a tight end. Actually, it looks like a strong safety for them. Kind of lead the way for their draft class. Buccaneers get themselves a strong safety. He might be the top rated one, actually, even above Callahan. And yeah, just nobody did well outside of that third round. That's a crazy draft that we went through. It's I'm surprised we made out as well as we did. Running back looks like the best thing the Cardinals were able to do. Cornerback for the Chiefs. They only have 3 picks this year, though. Indianapolis. Looks like it's going to be a tie between either the defensive line or the offensive line. America's team. They get themselves potentially top-rated cornerback. The Diablos. Looks like pass rush on the line for them. And the Finns. They get a running back in Mike Walker. Some help on the defensive line in Pope and Gilbert. So yeah, I think we definitely can say we made out. Evan McFarland, I believe he was that top-rated tight end, and he definitely showed why he deserved to be. So they'll look to continue to move on from Zach Ertz, and hopefully pair somebody with Goddard there, or Goddard. Falcons get a pass rush in Harvey Matthews, looking to move on from the Beasley debacle. 49ers get a running back. Crosstown or in-town rivals. Angelo Simon. Looks like they get a cornerback. Jaguars get themselves the strong safety. Here was Callahan. And Trace looked really good. He just wasn't strong in coverage from what we can tell. So it is what it is. And that brings us to ourselves. So I can definitely say we probably won the off season, at least in terms of the draft specifically, when it comes to increasing what our team talent may look like. So with that said, next video, stay tuned. We'll take a look at preseason, how things play out with some of our top competition battles at certain positions, new schemes, and we have a brighter future on the horizon for ourselves, guys. Should be a great opportunity to finally be able to take our team to the next level after Coach Martin has essentially finished with, I believe he has 15 wins in his first 2 seasons. So we'll be looking to see if we can't increase that by quite a bit this time around. That said, though, Jersey Boy out. Thank you.